What's up, guys? A topic very close to my heart today, and that is pizza. I used to be a pizza chef and I used to have a tradition with my family, which was a pizza every single Friday night after drama class. Then I started getting into health and fitness. And like most people who just start picking up odd articles here and there, anything that was enjoyable or a treat like that was off the menu, and I eradicated it from my nutrition. And it was only after learning about macronutrients, learning about the energy balance, understanding that it's not so much what you're putting into your body, but it's also just as important to factor in how much, and that's where the macros come. The point I want to get across today is how I incorporate eating pizza every single week, making it at home, not from scratch. I'm not asking you to make the dough yourself. I've done that as a pizza chef, I've done it at home and for work. I want to save time because then it makes following your nutrition, hitting your targets easier. And if you can add something like this to your nutritional plan that fits into your macronutrient targets for the day, for the week, then having that slight variety and basically having a menu of some of your favorite foods that you know how to make, that you can make them quite quickly and you know will keep you on track, then you'll have something that's sustainable to keep you going for days, months, years, to repeat and to know that you're staying on track. The key thing to remember is that there's no reason why you can't enjoy the foods you like on a regular basis if you understand their caloric values versus your caloric needs. That is the energy balance in a nutshell. If you crack that, that will make everything so much easier. So the base I'm choosing at the moment is the Crosta and Malika sourdough pizza base. That whole pizza base just on its own is quite a lot of carbs. There are other pizza bases that you can buy in the shops that have less carbohydrate than that. So that's up to you to decide how much of this you want to take out of your daily budget. That I'm trying to hit upwards of 400 grams of carbs a day. So that's quite a privileged position, but I just wanted to paint the picture so you understand my context, because it will be different from yours and different from someone else's, because this entire pizza base is around 110 grams of carbs. So now that I've established that as the base, it's got 110 grams of carbs and it's got 9 grams of fat if I eat the whole thing. That's before we add anything else onto it. So for me, that is now a non-negotiable in this recipe. I know that it's going to have at least that amount of carbohydrate and at least that amount of fat before I add anything on. Now it's time to play around with the macros for the cheese, because the cheese is a source of protein and fat. So I'm using 3 different cheeses here. I'm using standard mozzarella, light mozzarella, and eat lean cheese. So it's a high protein cheese. It's basically flavorless. So with all these 3 cheeses now at my disposal, I can then take from one, take from another, add up the protein, add up the fats, take away some regular mozzarella if I want to reduce the fat somewhat. Let's say, for example, that I've already eaten quite a lot of fat that day from eggs, from salmon, whatever it is, and I want to reduce the fat somewhat from this. I've got 9 grams of fat in that base. Let's say that I can only afford 15 grams of fat total for this one. Then I'll obviously lean more towards the light mozzarella and the lean cheese. But I urge you to not just make this pizza with the eat lean cheese, because it will be tasteless. Because this is meant to be a real pizza. This isn't a fake pizza with a cauliflower base or just lean cheese. It's a proper pizza. It's about how I and how you can fit real food that you would ideally go out and buy and have someone cook for you, fit this into your diet and your nutrition. Because all in all, this pizza that I'm making right now and showing you comes in at a very similar nutritional value as a Pizza Express margherita pizza from the restaurant. But key difference being, this pizza base is a hell of a lot bigger than what you get at the restaurant. So it's going to fill me up more, and obviously I can play around with those macros. I'm going to serve it with a side salad because, again, increasing that volume, adding in the vegetables, the fibre, the goodness from the salad, and it's a good juxtaposition taste-wise of the crunchy warmth of pizza to have the nice, cool, refreshing salad alongside it. Having that is also a great way to add up some more protein into this recipe and fill you up. Say, for instance, you want to throw some chicken into that salad rather than throw it on the pizza and keep the pizza as traditional as possible, which is what I do. I much prefer a very simple margherita, maybe just some mushrooms or something like that on it, but not too much, because the true test of a good pizza is a margherita. This pizza base already comes with a tomato sauce on it. Not all pizza bases will have that, but I like to add a bit more for flavour to keep it nice and soft in the middle in your normal oven, because it will cook differently to how a proper restaurant pizza in a wood-fired oven would cook. So we're using passata, really low carb, especially this version that I've got here. It's about 2 to 3 grams of carbs per 50 grams of passata. So it's negligible carbohydrates and no fat. Now, when it comes to eating foods like pizza, burgers, anything like that that might be deemed quote unquote unhealthy, I'll always ask myself several questions. And through that, I can then justify in my mind if I really want it, if I really need it. I'll ask myself, will I enjoy it? Will I enjoy eating it at the time? But also, will I enjoy it an hour later? Will it make me feel slow? Will it make me feel sluggish? I'll also ask, will it help me perform in the gym either later that day or tomorrow? How will it affect me in that way? And that's a question that ultimately led me to stopping drinking about 10 years ago, because it just wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth the poor quality sleep that followed, and it wasn't worth the feeling in the gym the next day. So ask yourself those questions about any types of foods that you're eating that you may sometimes regret, and weigh up that short-term pleasure versus the long-term happiness of knowing that you're fueling your body properly. Because you're here to make a change, let's be honest. You're here to make an aesthetic and physical change, whether that be bulking up or losing fat and losing weight. So you've got to start thinking, how do these other aspects of my life tie into that? It may seem like a chore to begin with by tracking your calories and your macros, but by doing it over a few weeks, you'll then be able to eyeball the foods rather than weigh them out. So by being regimented for several weeks and understanding quantities and trying to get that 80% accuracy, because that's all we're looking for, that's enough to make a consistent change. If you do that and are strong-minded with yourself, that will then allow you to be more flexible, more lenient with your diet, with your nutrition, going out after that time, because you won't have to weigh everything. You'll be able to just about guess the approximate values and get things right and still stay on track. So it will give you more freedom. This isn't nailing you down to a nutritional plan where every meal is weighed, put in a Tupperware box, prepared several days in advance. It's none of that. This gives you the freedom to find the foods that you love, understand your energy needs, and fit them in to a nutritional plan, and to be able to repeat that time and time again for long-standing success. Thanks very much, guys. I'll see you soon.